Today I'll be talking about the significance of Passover, which is also named as Pesach. What is Passover? Passover is an 8-day festival that is celebrated in the month of April. The celebration is based on the Exodus story. It is a renewal of the promise that God made with the people. But it mostly celebrates the freedom from slavery when the Jews escaped from Egypt. Passover is also referred as the Festival of Spring. It represents the start of production and harvest, which symbolizes hope and new life. During the first 2 nights, everyone comes together for a special meal called Seder. The Haggadah is a book that describes the rituals during Seder. During this celebration, they would have different foods that represent the different parts of the Exodus story. There would be foods such as roasted egg, lamb bone, parsley, a mix of nuts, apple wine, and cinnamon, and horseradish. Matzah is a special bread that they're allowed to eat during this time. 4 questions would be asked by the youngest person sitting at the table. Since they dipped their potatoes in salt water, one question would be why did they dip their foods in liquid? They did this because it represents the tears of the Jewish people. Seder reminds them of the continuous oppression towards the Jews and how they should always fight for justice and freedom. Passover traditions. You are not allowed to eat anything chametz during this celebration. The definition of chametz is any food that rises when mixed with water and grains. This commemorates the time in the story when the Israelites fled from Egypt while bringing dough that has not yet contained any yeast. One tradition is that the children find the chametz that their parents hid from them, and when they find it, a blessing is said. After Seder, everyone would gather together to sing and also dance. Since the firstborn Egyptians were killed in order for the Hebrews to be freed from slavery, the firstborn male would fast on the first day to show respect to these Egyptians. Passover is a sad and joyful holiday. It reminds people of the poor treatment of Jews and the liberation from slavery. But most importantly, it acknowledges the unbreakable bond with God.